My name is Leszek Dąbrowski. I was born in Poland and brought up in Liverpool, where I went to the art school. And much of my earlier work has been very much connected to my Polish roots. I was born in Sandomierz, which is a medieval town, a very beautiful medieval town in eastern Poland. And as I say, much of my work has been very much connected with my town, Sandomierz. This is a painting which I have finished recently, and it's again of a medieval marketplace, this time in the southwestern Poland, Wrocław, a very famous Polish town, which has had a very checkered history, but a city centre full of medieval buildings and almost like a toy town. And this is a painting scene of a fragment of the city at night. More recently, I've been visiting Andalusia in southern Spain, where I fell in love with a number of white hilltop towns. And the work has been very much concerned to do about the landscape and the history of the place, the colours, the textures, the smells of that area. And we see two examples here of one of Vejer, which is a white hilltop town south of Cadiz, and this is on the way to Sierra Norte, the mountains near Seville. I was very much involved looking at the landscape, looking at the colours, and looking at interesting features in the landscape which I came to know really well. Again, this is a painting of a very ancient building in the middle of nowhere. In fact, this is a scene in Belgium, near the coast in Flanders, Old Flanders, and it shows a typical Belgian building from the Middle Ages. And I was very, very taken with the proportions, these extraordinary proportions of the building surrounded by virtual emptiness. This painting shows or features the house that I was born in, a small thatched cottage on the riverbank in Sandomierz. And when I was visiting Sandomierz a few years ago, I noticed that the vegetation has grown but withered away in the hot sun, and a lady would come every day feeding the birds. So this is a painting of her, and in fact you can see two faces in one, because I didn't really know her very well. I imagined her to have a number of personalities. This is a painting of the waterfront in Liverpool on Merseyside, and it's on the landing stage. I saw a young lady sleeping or resting, waiting perhaps for the ferry to go across the Mersey, and here she is fast asleep under the canopy of quite extraordinary buildings.
Hello, I'm Wendy Morton-Jones Dabrowska, and I have been painting and devoted to art since the age of 8. It's been my passion all my life. This triptych was done at the end of an academic year of teaching history of art. And when you teach, you sort of absorb and store so much information that I literally had to expel it at the end of the academic year. And the first painting, Bonjour, Monsieur Cézanne, was like trying to bury all the information underground, but laying in the garden relaxing, I could still see and think of the history of art, hence the architectural buildings in the background. The second one is a continuation of that, because all the things that I taught came through my mind. Monsieur Pugin, some Lely fabric, Picasso, the Guggenheim Museum, the Chirico Bridge, etc. And the last one was when I went on holiday and eventually to Italy, and eventually I sort of shed the history of art from the academic year by saying goodbye, Mr. Hockney. It was hello, Mr. Hockney, but actually it's goodbye, Mr. Hockney. These two paintings are from when we first came to live in Lincolnshire, and we live in Boston on the coast. And I had never seen a horizon before. And on going for walks, I had never been to a place where there were no people because I came up from London. So Chance Encounter is the lower painting, and it is literally seeing a person was an amazing thing. But I did notice that there was some litter left. So that was evidence that people did go there. And the top one, I was also overwhelmed and stunned by the beauty of the countryside, because the horizons are very important to artists. The beautiful skies, the big open skies, and the wonderful colours you get in them. And then going into the town, it was such a contrast, seeing young women dressed in London-type fashions, and as if they lived separately from the countryside, rather than integrating in the countryside. So it's like two different worlds.